What's up, guys? The Iceman here with another video on the Iceman's Return channel. My debut video here, and it's going to be a TNA somewhat review video. TNA's been pretty good the last few weeks. Tonight, I think it just went down just a bit as far as the product went, but overall it was okay. If I were to rate it, I'd give it like a 5.5. Probably not much better than that, but it wasn't a bad show. So it basically started off with the flashbacks from last week. Taz came out with Mr. Anderson, with JB and Mike Tenay, and gave Mike Tenay a hard time, and they sort of like ran Mike Tenay off, and Taz said he was going to do the announcing with JB tonight. Anderson sat down with him, and that's how the show pretty much started. The first match was a Bound for Glory series match with Samoa Joe going up against Jeff Hardy. A match, going into this match, I'll tell you, with Joe being a member of the Main Event Mafia, I pretty much figured out this was a lock for Samoa Joe. Not a bad match overall. The two battled it out for quite some time, but it ended up being where you thought Samoa Joe was going to win this match, but Jeff Hardy ended up getting Joe in a cradle and pinning him and getting the victory. So it wasn't too bad of a match. I think it could have been better for the two wrestlers, but it is what it is. So Jeff Hardy is victorious and goes on to get some more points for the Bound for Glory series. It went on to have a little segment backstage with Christopher Daniels saying he doesn't know why Frankie Kazarian is being so selfish. He's more experienced, so to speak, than Kazarian. He's 3-0 in the Bound for Glory series matches, and Kazarian's 0 for 3. And so it went on from there. So the next match was Mr. Anderson going up against Brutus Magnus. This match, of course, had the expectations of being a super match, and it started off being all right, but as the match went on, Bobby Roode interfered, came in the ring with a chair, hit Mr. Anderson over the head with a chair, and of course the referee decided to disqualify Magnus for this interference. Magnus wasn't sure what he was disqualified for because he isn't the one who did the chair shot to the head, but in any event, Mr. Anderson got the victory by disqualification. So that was a little interesting there. Bobby Roode was then backstage saying that he was the it factor. He's changing his ways because the new ways didn't work, so he's going back to his old ways and whatnot. So next up, we have, we were talking about Tito Ortiz appearing last week. Chris Sabin is talking to Sting and Kurt Angle, and he said he needed to talk to them, and the results of that talk would come out later on. So Tito Ortiz came into the ring, basically, didn't really say a heck of a lot. Kurt Angle came out and telling Tito Ortiz that this is his ring. He doesn't mind that he's there as long as he respects his space in the ring. Ortiz agreed. They shook hands and went from there. So we had Mickie James and the Bromans, Robbie E. and Jesse going up against ODB, James Storm, and Gunner in a 6-way match. It was okay. It was a match that, to be honest with you, it didn't really make too much sense to me why Mickie James was teaming up with Robbie E. and Jesse. I mean, there was no relevance to this match, and it really didn't matter anyway because James Storm and Gunner did the double DDT on Robbie and ended up getting the victory. So ODB, James Storm, and Gunner were victorious in this match. And Then we went backstage basically with Kazarian talking about bad influence, and it's not about bad influence tonight. It's about him being there for 11 years and whatnot. And this led into the match for the Bound for Glory series match with Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian. And, this match could have been really, really good, just for the fact they're both members of Bad Influence. And it started off where, both men were actually trying to get the victory over each other until it led to the point where Daniels and Kazarian both stepped out of the ring, smiled at the referee, waiting for him to count, and gave them both a double countout. So I guess apparently this was planned ahead of time. And thereafter that, Bobby Roode come out and grabbed the mic. And as we saw, Roode decided to join Bad Influence. Now, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But they weren't really doing anything with Bobby Roode really as of late. So what he basically said, joining Bad Influence, it'll probably be any one of the three going on to win the Bound for Glory series matches. So, I think it's interesting that Roode did join Bad Influence, and I do like Bad Influence as a little bit of a stable. So I'm looking forward to see what develops there. Okay, it's main event time. Team 3D, Bully Ray and Devon going up against Chris Sabin and Kurt Angle. When Sabin came out, he was coming out with Sting. So we all thought it was Sting as his partner. But Kurt Angle entered into the ring, Sting left, and it was those two up against Bully Ray and Devon, which turned out to be a pretty good matchup. I really enjoyed this match. I think it could have gone on a little bit longer, but of course, with the time allotted to it, it didn't have a real lot of time. But it was a pretty good main event, and I'll tell you, this is a match that I enjoyed watching, and I will enjoy watching Bully Ray and Chris Sabin at Hardcore Justice next Thursday, August 15th, in a steel cage match, because what we saw develop here tonight was awesome. I thought the match was great. I know a lot of people, had their, differences about and opinions about the match, but I thought it was really good, and Sabin ended up getting the win on this match with a lot of things going on. He and Kurt Angle were victorious, and Bubba Ray was out cold, and Sabin and Angle celebrated in the ring. So I really enjoyed that. So look for Hardcore Justice next Thursday, August 15th, in the time slot of Impact Wrestling. That's what they're going to present. And like I said, the last month or so, TNA has really done a pretty good job of their wrestling show, and I've really enjoyed it. And I really think that they have done an excellent job thus far in doing what they've had to do with all the controversy behind them with the releases of superstars and whatnot. And, I still think they need to trim down some high-priced players they have. I mean, why they brought Kevin Nash in, to come on as a lawyer for Bully Ray didn't make any sense. I mean, simply with last night's Impact Wrestling, Kevin Nash wasn't even there. So what was the relevance of bringing him in the week before? It really didn't make any sense. So those are some of the little things they need to clean up on. But all in all, the show wasn't bad. Like I said, there was too many segments with Aces and Eights and Robbie E. and Jesse and Main Event Mafia and whatnot. But overall, not a bad show. I enjoyed it. So there you have it. My debut video here on the Iceman's Return channel here on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out, everybody, and we'll see you all next time. Have a great day. It's a Friday. Enjoy your weekend.